So over the 25 years of my software development career, I worked in a lot of companies. I've worked in large companies, I've worked in small companies. I've worked in development teams and as a sole developer, the only technical person in a small company. Today, I want to talk a little bit about working in a small company as the only developer. This is Overpass Insights. My name is Eric and I make apps. Okay, so today I'm coming to you from Brighton, which is on the south coast of England, and it's a beautiful day here today. So I've been coming here for the last few weeks. I'm taking a class on Saturdays, which I'll probably talk about at some point in the future, but it was just so nice out today that I thought this is the perfect place to do a video. And I haven't been doing them a lot lately, so let's do it here. Why not? This is really cool. Anyway, so today I want to talk about working by yourself as a developer in a company. This is something to think about. If you're going to do something like with AI and everything, it's going to take over a lot of jobs and a lot of developers. And I think companies are going to be able to do a lot more with a lot fewer people. So over the course of my career, I've worked in big development teams. I've worked in development departments. I've worked in, development companies. And I've also worked in companies where I was just the only developer. And I think that's something that we're going to have to get used to going forward. Or those of you guys who worked in development teams or you worked with like in the IT department or the software development department, depending on how big the company was, you might find it difficult to go back to a small company. So I wanted to share some of the things that I find you have to know when you're working as the only developer in a company. Okay, so the first thing you got to know when you're working for a small company and you're their only developer, you're their only source of technology, is that you're on your own. When you have to learn to explain things that are very, very technical in a non-technical way. So, we're developers. We know that we have problems. We have disks fill up, database issues. We got network connectivity issues. We got API issues. We got all kinds of issues. And a lot of times that's really difficult to explain to the person who hired you or the owner of the company what actually is going on. So you have to get really good at using analogy. For example, like to explain what a web server is, just as a really basic example, you have to be able to explain like a web server is like a computer that's always on and always listening for requests to come through, and it serves something out called HTML, and just being able to do things where you could explain things like, the API has reached its limit. We make these calls every so often. Sometimes you can say it in a technical way. Sometimes you can draw a diagram, but a lot of times because you're the only person who's able to express that, you need to put things that are very technical in a non-technical way, just so they know why things are being held up and they don't think it's just, you're making stuff up. Now, I've had clients come to me and they try to explain what their developers told them and they just don't understand it. They have no idea what they're talking about. And I actually have to talk to the developers because those developers were not very good at explaining things. The other thing you have to do when you're a sole developer in a company is you got to be a jack of all trades, which in some ways is really, really fun, but it's easy to skimp on, to do just enough. You have to get good at doing networking, doing database connectivity, doing a little bit of design work, all that kind of stuff, depending on what the application is and what they actually need. I've worked in companies where we had a database team, we had an infrastructure team, we had the networking team, we had the design team, and you had to interface with all those other things. And it was easy. It's very easy for a developer to throw up his hands and say, look, I'm not a designer. But if you're working as a sole developer for a company, you got to know at least a little bit of design. You need to know how to slice images, resize images, do some basic Photoshop stuff, or, one of the other tools, GIMP, whatever it is, and just be able to do some basic image editing, and to be able to to carry the project through. You need how to deploy something, you need to know how to test it properly, and you just need to be able to do all that kind of stuff. The nice thing with AI now is you can just ask ChatGPT how to do a lot of that stuff, but you have to realize it's no longer somebody else's responsibility. Dude, it's yours. Finally, as a sole developer in a company, you got to get used to getting interrupted on your holidays, getting interrupted on your vacations, getting called in the middle of the night, things happen and there's nobody else to turn to. There's nobody else to say. You can't just say, you know, if you're married, you have to have an understanding spouse. If you're out with your kids, you have to say, look, this is something I have to take care of. Have your laptop with you all the time. I got my laptop with me today, of course. It's always with me just in case, even though I'm not the sole developer. Things happen, servers crash, things need to be restarted, etc., 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 and it's all down to you. But like I said, being the sole developer in a small company can be kind of fun, right? It's the chance for you to shine. I've grown in two different ways as a developer. I've grown by working in teams with other people who are better than me, because you learn how to, more code discipline, learn how to read other people's code, learn how to work together in a team, all that kind of stuff. And I've also learned a lot from working in small companies because I couldn't rely on other people. I had to know, I'm not an infrastructure guy, but I need to know a little bit of infrastructure. I'm not a design guy. I need to know a little bit of design. It's that kind of thing that helps you grow as a developer and even a little bit grow as a person, just to be able to do that kind of stuff. So if you get the opportunity to work for a small company as a sole developer, I won't discourage you from it. It can be a lot of fun, but it has its challenges. Anyway, just wanted to check in with you guys. I know the videos are not coming through very often these days, but yeah, still miss you guys. I hope you guys stay healthy, stay safe. That is it for today. I'll talk to you again next time.